Call the roll, call the roll, call the roll, call the roll, call the roll of the Justice League of America.
Thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel today. In this Comic Book Editions video, I want to give you an update on how my Justice League of America Volume 1 collection has been progressing. So that's what I'm going to show off today. I appreciate you stopping by. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I hope you'll take this opportunity to do so. If you click the notification bell, you'll instantly be informed when new content is added to my channel. Giving this video a heart, a thumbs up, a like is another great way to show support, as is sharing this video and this channel with someone else that you think might enjoy it. Your support just means the world to me. So I mentioned several times that in 2022, I wanted to make this the year that I really focused on trying to fill in a lot of issues for my Justice League of America Volume 1 collection. By no means do I expect to complete the entire collection this year or even next year. This is going to be a multi-year project, but I really wanted to focus on it and see how much I can achieve in just 1 year setting my mind to it. So the bulk of the books that I have to show you today fall between 1976 and 1978. But I'm saving a great Silver Age comic book to share at the end. Let's get started. Here's Justice League of America issue number 133. The bulk of these books from the Bronze Age you'll see are between 1976 and 1978. This cover by Ernie Chan features Despero. Maybe you might remember that Despero was the Justice League's very first villain. He made his first appearance in issue 1 of Justice League of America. As a matter of fact, you're going to see a lot of classic JLA villains in the covers to these issues that I'm going to share in this Comic Book Editions video today. So we have a great cover here with Despero. You might notice too, we have Supergirl. She guest starred in the previous issue, in this issue, and makes an appearance in the next issue as well. This is a fun story and a good read, and I'm happy to finally have this one in my collection. The bulk of these purchases that you're seeing today came from a special sale that Nucadia had. Every day Nucadia has a different sale on a comic book title, and there was one day that they had Justice League of America comic books at 50% off. And I'm like, 50% off? I can't miss out. There's some good savings that I can get off of that. And I did. Here's Justice League of America, Volume 1, issue number 139. Neil Adams' goodness on this cover. I mean, do I need to say more? That's awesome. You don't see him on the cover, but Kanjaru is one of the villains in the two stories that's featured in this issue. The second story is primarily an Atom and Wonder Woman based story that sets up a future storyline that kind of pays off in issue number 142 and 143. I've been familiar with this cover for a long time and have wanted it, and happy to have it now. It's a giant Justice League. When it was brand new, it was 50 cents. I mean, that was an expensive comic book back then, even though it was essentially 2 comic books. I mean, doubled your story and still saved a little bit of money. But man, I miss those 50-cent comic book days. Great issue to have in the collection. Love it. This next issue is 144 from Volume 1, and there's a lot going on in this cover, as you can obviously see. Lots of stuff going on. This is a Dick Dillon cover. Of course, Dick Dillon did the interiors of Justice League for decades, up until his passing in the early 1980s. So I had kind of forgotten about this issue and this story until I bought this floppy and was reading it. Then I instantly remembered that I had read it in the Bronze Age Justice League of America Omnibus, which I own. And to be quite honest, I am not a fan of this story. This is my least favorite. It was my least favorite when I read it in the Omnibus and when I reread it again this time. This has been done a couple times in different Justice League of America stories where they say, okay, you know the Justice League's origin in issue number 9? That's not their true origin. There's an untold hidden origin, and this is it. And I don't like that concept overall. I didn't like the story that they presented here or the other times that they've done that. You know, issue 9 isn't the true origin. Here's the real true origin. I just haven't been a fan of any of that. There's certainly a lot of guest stars in this issue, and if you're a fan of DC Comics at that time, pretty much any character you liked that was out then probably has an appearance somewhere in this issue. Lots of characters, but the story just wasn't for me. Sorry, it just wasn't. Now, I'm happy to have it, and I'm happy that I'm able to checkmark this one in my CLZ app as completed. But beyond that, just not one for me. Y'all can't be home runs, can they? Nope. I'll show you one that is for me, though. And that is Justice League of America issue number 149. First of all, we have this awesome Rich Buckler cover. Yeah, I love it. We have Dr. Light as a villain. You see his floating head up there too. Dr. Light was first introduced in Justice League of America issue number 12. So he's an OG, longtime Justice League of America foe. Good story. You don't see this character I'm about to mention on the cover, but another villain that they thought was the Star Czar. And spoiler, yep, spoiler for a comic book that's over 40 years old, the Star Czar turned out to be Snapper Carr. So this is the first of a two-part issue that did the storyline with the Star Czar. Issue 150 has the key on the cover. And maybe you remember me showing that, I think it was last year. I think it was last year that I picked it up, or maybe the year before that I picked it up and showed it on a Comic Book Editions video. So essentially, I got this two-part story and read it in reverse. It's okay because I certainly enjoyed both parts too. And as I said, now this issue is definitely for me. This is my Justice League of America. This is the Bronze Age goodness that I love of JLA. So awesome. And then another Rich Buckler cover that I have to show you is issue number 153. This is the first appearance of a character called Ultra. And I do remember Ultra showing up a couple other times in Justice League, especially as a young collector. I thought, I think Ultra is going to be a character that they're going to try to incorporate or make a bigger role in future Justice League books. But that did turn out to be the case. But I actually was kind of okay with that, because I just kind of found out I just wasn't that big of an Ultra fan. I guess the general public wasn't that big of an Ultra fan either, which is why we didn't get more appearances from him. But yeah. So issue number 153 was the highest up issue of Justice League of America that I needed in my collection. So there weren't any issues beyond 153 that I needed. So essentially what you've seen and what I've been showing you here is me kind of working backwards in my checkmark list of the JLA issues I need to fill in my runs. That's kind of what I've done. With the exception of this next book that I'm going to show you. So I didn't really set out to find this issue, but as I've said before, sometimes comic books come into your life when they're ready to come into your life, and you just got to scoop them up at that opportunity. And sometimes if you don't take the opportunity, you don't get another chance. Justice League of America issue number 6 is and has been my oldest Justice League of America comic book in my collection, my gosh, for decades. I remember buying issue number 6 as a back issue as a young collector, and how excited I was that I actually owned a Justice League issue that old, something in the single digits. And that just blew my mind, and for decades it blew my mind. Well, that record has now been broken. Not kidding. Here's some Silver Age goodness for you. Justice League of America, issue number 3. Yes, Justice League of America, issue number 3. I'm so stoked to tell you that I have this in my collection. This one came from My Comic Shop. And sometimes when I'm browsing on that site, which I don't do all that often, some of the stuff I think is a little bit overpriced. But then at other times, you find stuff that are just good deals. And this certainly was the case of being a good deal. I started looking around when I saw this book on there. I started looking around to see what is this book going for, and what's the deal with this book. And I was surprised at how many copies of issue number 3 are coverless, or the cover's not connected, it's detached, or massive tape. It's been taped for decades and there's all the yellow tape stains on it. And my cover is attached. There is just a slight touch of tape on the back cover. It has yellowed a little bit, but it's not that much. And it certainly displays so nicely and so beautiful. This is the first appearance of Kanjaru. So that's awesome. I've always liked Kanjuro. I thought he was kind of a cool villain. Someday I'd like to get that Mystery in Space number 75. I have the facsimile edition, but I'd like to get an original on it. But now I have his first appearance. Murphy Anderson cover, if I'm remembering correctly. And the story, you know, it's classic DC Silver Age. Sometimes it gets a little bit out there. This one, not so much. It was pretty enjoyable as a reread. I certainly, like I said, didn't set out to get this old of a Justice League book. As a matter of fact, even anything from the single digits really wasn't on my radar. I was just trying to work on the ones at the end of the collection that I needed. But hey, I'm taking it and I'm adding it into the collection. It warms my heart and it makes me happy to have this in my collection now and to share it with you in today's Comic Book Editions video. Yes! So there, I'd love to know your thoughts and comments about the Justice League of America comic books that I've been sharing today. What do you think of these covers? Do you have any of them? Are you searching for any of them? What's the oldest Justice League comic book in your collection? That would be a great thing to comment about. We can discuss and dialogue about any of these things in the comment section below because your comments are always welcomed, appreciated, and encouraged. That's awesome. You know, we're already in the 90s in my Comic Book Editions video now, and you know, it won't be too much longer till we come up to episode 100, I should say. And I want to do something really extra special for episode 100. So even though it's a little bit in the future, keep that in mind that I'm planning something a little bit extra special for that one. So looking forward to sharing that with you too. So in the meantime, you made it to the end of another Comic Book Editions video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Take care.
The Justice League, yeah, the Justice League. Oh, the Justice League, that's the Justice League.